my name is Crystal and welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome old subscribers, welcome new. Alexa, what's the time please?
It's 5:32 p.m.
It's 5:32 p.m. I've been out for most of the day. I had a text asking me if I'd like to go to Gravesend today, and I went to Gravesend with my son. So we went to Gravesend. My son's sat-nav was playing up and we ended up in all odd places, put it that way, like some business park. But we went through Gravesend town centre and we found where we wanted to go. And basically we just sat down by the fountain, the water by the riverside, where we went and sat before once, and we sat there and just led out in the sun for about 2 or 3 hours, just over 2 hours sitting in the sun. First of all, we went into the little cafe where I went in there before with my son, and we got 2 lattes. I had a cherry bakewell tart, and we got a bag of bird food to feed the swans and the ducks with. So I mainly sat up feeding the birds and the pigeons. So I fed some pigeons, I fed some swans. There was a couple of lovely grey baby swans there. And so we just sat there. My son sunbathed and I sat feeding the birds and observing. Because that's what I do. I sit and I observe. I watch people. Not in a funny way, but I write a diary, you see. So it helps me write my diary. So my son was just led all the time, led out with his cap on backwards, trying to sunbathe. And it was mainly women with children coming over near where my son was sunbathing and near where I was sat. And I was feeding the pigeons and the swans, and I was quite happy. Then this lady comes over with her children and they start trying to get the swans and the birds over to them, which is fair enough. Nobody owns the swans and the birds. So while she was feeding the birds near my son that side, I just let down and sunbathed. And when they'd gone, I sat up. And then a couple of kids came over to the left of me and started throwing what looked like branches and plants into the water. And I took no notice of that. I turned round and I just led back. And I just ignored it because my son was just resting in the sun, led down. So while they were throwing things into the water to the left of me, basically I just ignored it and carried on with what I was doing, which was feeding the birds and trying to enjoy. There's a bit of noise outside that way, so I'm shutting the door. So we was in Gravesend. The latte was extremely hot. She said, "Mind, it's hot," and I had 2 sugars in my latte, and she marked it which latte had the sugars in. So it was like £2 in the car park for a couple of hours parking. I don't drive myself, but my son drives. So we got a ticket and just led out in the sun in Gravesend. And after people realised that I was not going to have any nonsense, that I was just going to ignore it, it all stopped. People got on with what they should be doing, which is minding their business and doing their stuff away from me and my son. So when they realised there wasn't going to be a reaction, it just went all quiet, and that's the way I like it. After Gravesend and watching the waterfall and feeding the birds and swans, my son took me back here and we went into Costa Coffee for an ice cold latte with ice cubes in it. But before that, we went to Asda in Strood. Asda in Strood, because I asked my son if he could stop somewhere where I could get a pad and some pens for my diary. Because yesterday we went into a garage and they did not have a writing pad. And what I ended up getting was some multi-purpose paper, 500 sheets, and it's got Morrison's on it because it was a Morrison's garage. And I thought, well, this is okay, but I prefer a pad. So it just reminded me of working for GEC Avionics many years ago. I was a photocopy operator. So I used to stand on my feet all day photocopying things for the draftsmen, and I used to have to empty the paper and put it in, and we used to have packets of A4 paper like this. So I used to stand on my feet all day putting paper in and out of the photocopier and photocopying documents for the draftsmen and for the library staff in GEC Avionics, which was an airline company. So I did die-line prints because they were drawing aircraft, inside aircrafts. That's why it was Airport Works Rochester. I stayed in that job for a couple of years, and then I moved to Gloucestershire afterwards. I didn't stay in Chatham very long. I stayed from 1985 to 1987, and in 1987 I got married to my ex-husband, and I moved to Gloucestershire, and then I returned back to Chatham in 2008. So there we are. So my son and I went into Asda, Strood, lovely Asda plastic bag, where I wanted to get a pad and some pens for my diary. A pack of pads. That's better for a diary than some plain sheets. And some crystal shine pens, which are gold and silver crystal shine. Right, pens. Right, so we had those, and I was in Asda at 4 today, the 8th of August 2022. Right, so I've been in there. Costa Coffee was fine. I had a nice ice cold latte with my son and we just chatted. And the railway enforcement team came into Costa Coffee. 3 or 4 male members of the railway enforcement team, not the police, not community service support officers, but railway enforcement officers. About 4 of them came in to have ice cold coffees, and they went out with their coffees. One was bald with glasses, and they went out. There was a couple messing around on their laptops, a man listening to his earphones, and the staff were very, very nice. A very nice lady served me. I've got home, my mum's rung, I've missed the call, and yeah, I'm fine. Spot of sunbathing. I won't be seeing my son for a while. He's going back to work, so I'm on my own again for at least a week. Obviously at some point going to see my mother, but no, Gravesend was okay. It was okay. It was packed. It was full of people, but I didn't let people annoy me, and it was okay. There was no arguments, nothing. I just led out and got the sun, and like I said, we went to Asda and came back and had a coffee, and my son dropped me off at the flat, and it was okay. He drove me round the back. I got out, went into the back, and there was post on the floor female trousers that I ordered online. I thought they were denim, they're not. So these are mine, ladies' trousers, and they're made in Italy. Made in Italy these are. Very nice too. So I've got all my clothing that I ordered last week. And let's ask Alexa. Alexa, where's my packages?
A package for Krista's order was delivered, containing balloons. A package should arrive today, containing vest. Another package should arrive tomorrow, containing clothing. Another 3 packages should arrive Wednesday, the 10th of August, containing cycling shorts and clothing. Another 7 packages are on the way.
Well, I don't know what those are, but I've got my clothing now. I've got my cycling shorts, I've got my vest, I've got my trousers, I've got my balloons. Everything is fine, everything is okay. And just taking each day as it comes. Today was better than yesterday. It won't stop. There's nothing wrong with me, and basically when people come near me and try and irritate me, I just got to learn to just realise that's the way people are and just ignore it. And it's difficult when you're a nice person and you're being nice to people and people are turning around and going poo, 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 and there's nothing wrong with me at all, and I know that, and I have to keep saying that to myself. When people are bullying, I have to keep saying, Crystal, they're wrong, they're jealous, they're being spiteful, ignore it. You know what's right, you know they're wrong, ignore it. And you find when they're not getting anywhere with stirring trouble up and upsetting you, then they just move on and go somewhere else and take their rubbish with them. Right, I'm going to get on with the rest of my day, take Max out later on, and I'll see you later. And this is a smelly ball, but it's a nice smell. This came from the Gravesend cafe. A smelly ball, but it's not poo stinky, it's scented and it's nice. And you know what? Someone couldn't say I stink nasty. So, my top, this top smelt, but it didn't smell stinky of poo, it smelt of strong detergent. So I had this washed a couple of days ago, and I washed it myself, and I put it outside on the dryer on the balcony, and apparently this smelt of strong detergent, not poo, strong detergent, so sometimes you can't win, can you? It smelt of, actually I'll show you what it smelt of. It's a very nice smell actually, and this was on offer from Sainsbury's for £2. Lenore Gold Orchid Chic, and that's what my clothing is smelling of. Nothing stinky and nasty, but Lenore. So guys, I gotcha. Poo! But it was a nice smell, wasn't it? See you later.